888-848-5657.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Your community radio station. WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 22 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It's September 13th. Hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
And that means we're coming into the fall open enrollment for healthcare coverage season. I'm always confused by this, and I'm even more confused because our listeners always call and ask me for information. So I'm not the go-to guy, but I always find somebody who can give you the answers to those questions. Today we have Rebecca Madsen on the phone. She is the Chief Consumer Officer at United Healthcare employer. Is that right, Rob?
Yes.
And individual. Okay,
yes.
So we'll find out what all that means. Rebecca, good morning.
Good morning. Happy to be here, and hopefully we can make it less confusing for you and your listeners today.
Okay, so when does the open enrollment start?
So if you have an employer-sponsored plan, it's usually during a 2-week period in the fall between September and December. If you're eligible for Medicare, the Medicare annual enrollment period is from October 15th to December 7th.
Okay, so who is eligible for Medicare? Let's start with that one.
So usually it's people who are 65 or older are eligible for Medicare plans. If you have an employer-sponsored plan, it's offered through your employer, and it covers up to age 26 now for dependents. And so anyone who has any of those offerings, it's available to them, and now's the time when you pick what you're going to get for the upcoming year.
So what if you're 64, like I'm 64 right now? Do I have to sign up now so I'm covered next year when I turn 65 in September?
So it depends on your state and the Medicare plan that's being offered to you. But usually when you turn 65, you become eligible, and that's when you get information to enroll in the plan.
So what happens if I turn 65 and I'm enrolling and then I need to go to the hospital? Will I still be covered or not?
Yeah, so you usually get your enrollment before your effective date. You enroll before your effective date, so you ensure that you're covered when you get any services that you receive beginning on the effective date. So much like open enrollment now, people go through it in the fall, and it becomes effective on January 1 for most plans.
But it's a limited time period, right? Is it the same time frame for both? And you probably said this, and it just kind of didn't sit with me yet.
Sure. Yeah, so employers can choose when they go through open enrollment.
Okay.
Most plans have a January 1 effective date, and so it's any time in the fall. For example, my open enrollment starts at the beginning of October. So usually your employer would send out information or ask them if you're not entirely sure to make sure that you don't miss that window when you have to sign up for your plan.
How come we can't sign up anytime during the year? Because the birthdays don't fall. You know, there are a lot of people that don't have birthdays between October and December.
Yeah, so usually the reason that it's done once a year is so that you can get everybody on the same plan with the same benefits and ensure that you've done that effectively. So when January 1 rolls around, people are enrolled and they have the plans and benefits they need. One good thing to think of as you go through open enrollment this year is looking at the changes. A lot can change in a year. If you have Medicare or you have an employer-sponsored plan, what's being offered to you and what the coverage is for the upcoming year, in addition to looking at what's changed in your own life. Are you sicker? Are you healthier? If you're younger, if you had a baby, and making sure that you're prepared to understand what the plans are that are being offered to you.
So do you have other plans? Because if a person is 65, they're looking at retiring and they're not part of their employer eligibility plan. So how do us as an individual sign up?
And sometimes people have group retiree plans if they're with their employer, if they're with Medicare. With Medicare, there's a lot of information that's available to people during the open enrollment period so that they can make a choice that's smart for them. When you look at the plans that are being offered to you, look at the premium. That's one cost that a lot of people understand. That's what comes out of your paycheck or your pocket on a monthly basis. But also look at other out-of-pocket costs. Deductibles, a term that people sometimes aren't familiar with. That's the amount you pay out of your pocket before your insurance kicks in. And then another tip that may be helpful to your listeners is coverage. Make sure your doctor's in the network and the medications that you take are covered. We found that about a third of people don't research if their doctors are in network before selecting a plan, and they go out of network and get an unexpected cost. So make sure you understand the medications you take, that they're covered, and that the doctors and hospitals you visit are in the network as well.
I have a text message here from a listener asking me to ask you about switching over. When somebody is of age to get Medicare, do they drop their affordable health care plan?
Yeah, so when you have Medicare, you're eligible to get coverage from the government. So it's, once you turn 65 and you're eligible for that, you can pick a Medicare plan that best suits your needs. So it's important to look at the plans that are available to you and the coverage that's available in your state and through the government on a federal level so that you can get the best plan.
Okay. Do you stay with the same insurance company, or is it different? How does that, do you end your relationship with your insurance company? I guess that's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it depends. So if you depending on so sometimes the insurance company like United Healthcare, we offer employer-sponsored plans, and we also offer Medicare plans. So a lot of times you can stay through the same insurance company and just switch your plan. If you have a group retiree plan, you can stay with the same insurance company as well. So what's important is you compare what you have today and what's available to you going forward. Another thing that people should think about, your listeners, is also in terms of wellness programs. I know that's important for the entire population. Mm-hmm. More than 70% of employers offer it. You also have a lot of opportunities in Medicare to have wellness programs. On average, there's $742 in financial incentives that people can get by doing healthy activities such as walking, participating in health coaching, and particularly as you get older, wellness becomes even more important.
I started walking. I'm walking now.
Yeah, you did. Good job.
Awesome.
Good job.
For you.
I got this app on my phone. It'll tell me how far I walked. I joined the 21st century last year, by the way.
That's great. And there's programs like Silver Sneakers and other things that are offered in Medicare, where for walking, you can not only make yourself healthier, but also earn incentives. And so that's a great opportunity for people.
Wow. Is this information on the website?
Yeah, so you can we have a website, uhcopenenrollment.com. There's helpful information, there's tips, there's videos, there's a glossary on there that gives you basic terminology to help you make smart choices. So we hope that helps make the process a little bit easier for people.
All right, very good. Rebecca Madsen, thank you so much for being on the air with us today.
My pleasure, and wishing you good health and good luck during open enrollment.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. Landfall from Hurricane Florence is expected late tomorrow or early Saturday along the Carolina coast. The effects will be felt before and after. For one thing, from storm surge, the wind pushing water up on shore.
In addition to that, there's going to be a tremendous amount of rain. And as the storm slows down, there's going to be lots of coastal flooding. And with that, combined with the onshore flow, it's going to be very hard for this water to evacuate. So you're going to see a tremendous amount of inland flooding.
That's federal forecaster Neil Jacobs. The Federal Emergency Management Agency will be responding to the storm. Now, its administrator, Brock Long, is under internal investigation for the repeated use of government vehicles for personal travel. He says,
we'll continue to fully cooperate with any investigation that goes on and own up to any mistakes and push forward and